One of the trends that we're seeing is capital flows between China, Africa, Brazil. What's interesting is that New York and London aren't in the middle of these. They're not necessarily facilitating these flows. Some of that is a result of, I think, the overhang of the crisis itself. We need our resilient financial centers. We need our resilient financial institutions which reside in these two big jurisdictions to actually help support that flow, create transparency, liquidity, and ultimately free flow of capital markets.
Emerging market countries are growing very, very quickly, and oftentimes they don't have all the governing capacity they need to be responsible global players. Many emerging market countries are increasingly partners in development and lending to the poorest countries. Well, there's some expertise the World Bank can share with them about how best to be a positive partner in development, how to empower the recipient countries to really make better decisions and have responsible development trajectories that, again, help the poorest of the poor, the most vulnerable, not just the elites in these countries.
Even the stronger countries like Germany, the Netherlands, are experiencing the ripple effects from the global slowdown. China, which is the engine of the world for growth, is pulling it back because they're worried about inflation. We are very much in a global economic slowdown right now. Of course, the West is worse off than the East because the East is still bubbling up, places like China and India.
When you hear that the Europeans can't figure out what to do about default in one of their countries, you know it's going to have an effect. And vice versa, when we can't deal with our deficit and budget situation, it has a ripple effect. And I think it just goes to prove the interdependence point. The question is to what extent we recognize that we need the cooperation of other countries in order to deal with the economic situation.
The markets of the future are going to be the fast-growing emerging markets and developing markets. That's where the growth that's going to power the U.S. economy and U.S. jobs and U.S. retirement security is going to come from. So growth matters and global growth matters, and working together makes a big difference.